The Monster of Florence, 1968 to 1985, Italy, August 21st, 1968. A quiet country road near Signa, just outside the city. A car sits parked in the shadows, rocking gently. Inside, a man named Antonio Lobianco and a woman named Barbara Loci are together, lovers stealing a private moment away from Barbara's husband. Neither of them hears the footsteps approaching through the grass. Neither of them sees the hand raise. There is only the sudden crack of gunfire and then silence. Barbara's young son, sleeping on the back seat, survives. He is the only witness, and he is 6 years old. Barbara's husband, Stefano Mella, is arrested and eventually convicted of the murders. Case closed, the police say. A jealous husband, a crime of passion, move on. But something is wrong with that conclusion, something that won't be understood for years, because the gun used that night, a .22 caliber Beretta, loaded with a very specific type of Winchester Series H ammunition, does not stay quiet. It waits, like something alive, like something patient. 6 years pass. September 14th, 1974. The hills of Borgo San Lorenzo. Another couple. Another parked car. Another night that begins in tenderness and ends in blood. Pasquale Gentilcore and Stefania Pettini are shot dead with the same weapon, the same caliber, the same distinctive bullets. But this time the killer does something different. After shooting them, he drags Stefania's body from the car and mutilates her. A screwdriver is used in ways that investigators will not describe in public for years. It is a message or perhaps a ritual. The police don't know which. They don't yet realize the same gun killed people in 1968. The city of Florence sleeps uneasily, but it sleeps. June 6, 1981, the Scandicci Hills. Giovanni Foggi and Carmela Denuccio park their car on a lover's lane, a stretch of road known locally as a place where young couples come for privacy. They are both in their 20s. They have their whole lives ahead of them. By morning, they are dead, shot multiple times through the car window. Carmela's body has been mutilated. A portion of her anatomy has been removed, surgically, carefully, with what appears to be a practiced hand and a sharp blade. The police, now connecting this to 1974, realize they are dealing with something they have never encountered before. A serial killer, in Italy, in Tuscany, in their beautiful, ancient, art-filled city. The investigation stumbles forward. The monster is already planning his next move. October 22nd, 1981. Just 4 months later, Susanna Cambi and Stefano Baldi, also in their 20s, are found in the hills near Calanzano. Same gun, same ritual mutilation, same eerie precision. The killer is accelerating. He is growing confident. He is. Investigators begin to whisper, enjoying this. June 19, 1982, the hills of Monte Spertoli. Another couple, Paolo Minardi and Antonella Migliorini. This time something goes wrong for the monster. A passing car startles him. He flees before completing his ritual. Paolo is dead. Antonella, shot but not killed outright, clings to life briefly before dying hours later in the hospital, without ever regaining consciousness, without ever telling anyone what she saw. Florence is terrified. The newspapers cannot stop writing about it. Parents forbid their daughters from going out at night. Young men swear to protect their girlfriends. Couples stop parking in the hills. The city changes. Fear settles into the stones of it. September 9th, 1983. Horst Meyer and Jens Ruschoff, 2 young German men, tourists who had parked their camper in the hills above Galuzzo, are found shot to death. The killer, it seems, approached their vehicle in the dark and realized too late, or perhaps didn't care, that these were 2 men, not a man and a woman. He kills them anyway. He does not mutilate them. He simply leaves. Investigators debate what this means. Does it mean the ritual is specifically about women? Does it mean he panicked? Does it mean there are things about this killer they still do not understand? Yes. It means that July 29th, 1984. Claudio Stefanacci and Pia Rontini, a young couple from Vicchio, park near a vineyard on a warm summer night. They are shot. Pia is mutilated. Her left breast is removed. The precision of the cutting is remarked upon again and again in forensic reports, almost clinical, almost medical, almost like someone who has practiced. The investigation has now dragged on for years. There are suspects, many suspects. Stefano Mella, the original convicted husband, cannot have committed the later murders because he was in prison. But he knows something. Investigators believe he protected someone in 1968. They begin to construct a theory. A small group of men, a clan from Sardinia, took turns with the gun. The Sardinian lead. Years are spent chasing it. Leads bloom and wither. Suspects are interrogated and released. Florence waits. September 7th and 8th, 1985. The last night. A French couple, Jean-Michel Kravaichvili and Nadège Moriot, are camping in a tent in the woods near Scopeti in the hills of San Casciano Val di Pesa. They are far off the road. They are hidden. The monster finds them anyway. He shoots them both. He removes a portion of Nadège's anatomy and takes it with him. He also cuts a section of the tent. These items, these trophies, he carries away into the dark. 3 weeks later, a small package arrives at the office of the public prosecutor in Florence. Inside, wrapped carefully, is a piece of human flesh. A note accompanies it. The monster is taunting the people who are supposed to catch him. He has never been this bold. He has never been this close to the investigation. Investigators believe this means he is watching them. Reading the papers, following the case as closely as they are, he knows their names. They don't know his. And then nothing. After 1985, the Monster of Florence kills no more. Or at least no more killings are attributed to him. He vanishes. Into retirement perhaps, into old age, into death. No one knows. The gun, that Beretta with its distinctive Winchester Series H bullets, connected now to 16 murders across 17 years, is never found. What follows is arguably stranger than the murders themselves. In the 1990s, the investigation lurches in a nightmarish new direction. A prosecutor named Mikhail Utari becomes convinced that the monster was not acting alone, that behind the killings was a secret society of wealthy Florentine elites, doctors and professionals and pillars of the community, who ordered the murders for occult rituals, who used the removed body parts in satanic ceremonies in the hills, a conspiracy of the powerful, a shadow cult, hiding in plain sight. This theory is not fringe speculation shared on internet forums. This theory results in actual arrests. A man named Pietro Pacciani, a rough, semi-literate farmer with a history of violence, is arrested and convicted in 1994 as the monster. He has no forensic evidence connecting him to the crimes. He maintains his innocence. His conviction is overturned on appeal in 1996. He dies in 1998, of uncertain causes, just before a retrial that might have fully exonerated him. Two of Pacciani's friends, Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lotti, are later convicted as accomplices, members of what the prosecution calls I Compagnie di Merende, the picnic companions, a group of crude, aging men who supposedly assisted in the killings as spectators or participants. Lotti confesses, then recants, then partially confesses again. The trials are long, strange, operatic affairs, full of dramatic reversals and contested evidence. Vanni is convicted and sentenced to life. He too maintains innocence. An American author named Douglas Preston moves to Florence in the late 1990s to write a book. He and his Italian journalist friend Mario Spessi begin their own investigation into the case. They become convinced that Pacciani and his companions were scapegoats, that the real monster is still out there, still alive, perhaps still watching. Their investigation leads them toward a different suspect, a man named Antonio Vinci, a Sardinian connected to the original 1968 murder, a man who moved through all the right circles at all the right times. This pursuit nearly destroys them both. Spezzi is arrested in 2006 and charged with being an accomplice to the monster. The prosecutor's theory now apparently including the journalist investigating the case as a participant in it. Preston, as a foreign national, is interrogated and then advised by the American consulate to leave Italy before he too is charged. He does. Their book, The Monster of Florence, is published in 2008. It reads like a thriller. It is not fiction. Spezzi is eventually released. The charges against him are dropped. The prosecutor who pursued them is himself later investigated for misconduct. The case officially remains open. No one has ever been conclusively identified as the Monster of Florence. The gun is gone. The trophies are gone. The killer, if he is even still alive, has never confessed, never been caught, never been held to account for 16 murders, carried out across a stretch of the most breathtaking countryside in the world. Every year, tourists walk the hills above Florence. They photograph the vineyards and the cypress trees and the ancient stone farmhouses catching the golden afternoon light. They eat at outdoor restaurants and drink local wine and feel, as everyone does in Tuscany, that they are standing inside a painting of how life is supposed to be. And somewhere in those hills, in the darkness between the olive trees, 17 years of nights remain unreckoned with. The monster walked out there. He knew those roads. He knew those quiet places where lovers parked their cars and thought they were alone in the world. He might have been anyone. He might have been no one you would ever suspect. And after all this time, he might still be.